Let's move on to casting call then.
All right, guys, casting call. If you don't know what it is, if you've never joined the show before, casting call is where we, as everybody wants to be the greatest director in the world, sometimes say, hey, I could have did that better, or this person will be better at that part. So what we're all getting ready to do is just for the main primary characters say, hey, if this wasn't this person, we would have loved to see that person. Durden, take us away.
All right, so I'm going to roll mine out in one swoop because what I did was I'm under the, and I'll get into this in the review part, but I think that this movie should be remade exactly from the script that Willard and Gloria wrote. I think it does. I think that script deserves that specific script deserves to be remade with a different cast that really understands the tone that it's going for. And so I recast it as if it were to be that script were to be remade today with actors that are working right now. And I think that Justin Roiland, who does Rick and Morty, would be a great voice for Howard. Even though Seth Green is doing a really good job. I think it's somebody that could bring that intensity that Tim Robbins brought to Phil, but do it in a way that seems like it's self-aware so that it can be appreciated more by the audience would be Nicolas Cage, because you would come to expect it. Dr. Walter Jennings, I think Tim Heidecker would nail that. And I think Jeffrey Jones did a really good job. I think out of all the actors, he understood the tone that this movie was going for. And I think Tim Heidecker would walk in those shoes well, as far as like being dry about it. Like you don't really know that you're supposed to be saying something funny right here. And I was really high when I did this last night because when I watched Howard the Duck the first time as a kid, obviously I wasn't under the influence of anything. So I wanted to see what it was like under the influence of some marijuana. So I did that, and for Beverly, just for the fuck of it, just to embrace the absurdity that this movie should be, I want Christian Bale to play Beverly and do it with the intensity and the commitment that he brings to every role and just play it 100% straight, exactly over the top the way she did. I think that would be hilarious.
I'm not even going to say
it. Oh, Ducky.
What am I going to do with you?
Here's the thing. I didn't want to see that, but with you saying that, I know Christian Bale would take it so serious. He's such a fucking method actor. Oh, yeah. That he could get to it.
He would get a sex change.
Right. I only have three. Those are that. You're right. And I wasn't with him, by the way, last night, guys. So
I don't identify as a female. I identify as Beverly now.
I only have three. And Ernie will appreciate this one. For the voice of it, they couldn't get the animatronics to work. But you know what I'm going to say? The late, great Robin Williams, I would have loved to see what he could have done with the character if they could have got the mouth right. But, you know, as Coby knows, I believe Howard Stark said, this is why I'm referencing Howard Stark, I'm a prisoner of the technology of my time, so somebody else is going to have to fucking figure it out. So that would have been the voice. As Howard the Duck, I know I'm not being racist or animalist here. I would like to call it animalist. I would have loved to see Brian the dog as Howard the Duck. Like if I could take the duck out, I would love seeing Brian the dog from fucking Family Guy.
So yes. That's Seth MacFarlane, right?
Correct, which is I was one of my connections earlier. That's why I took it out. Remember?
Yeah.
Boom. There you go. Last but not least, just for shits and giggles, Beverly, I would have liked to see as Winona Ryder from the team because she fucks puppets.
And she can go over the top too. Yeah.
There we go. Those are my three. Guys, on you. Follow that.
All right, I'll go first. I definitely don't have my whole cast planned out, but I think the big switch for me would be I think Howard, what's so interesting about Howard is like he is ridiculous, but he's such a straight character, you know? Mm-hmm. Like he's the straight man. So it would be interesting to pair him with somebody who's more ridiculous than him. And I was thinking, I don't know, I don't think she's the best actress in the world, but I was thinking like Awkwafina could bring like a lot of comedy to the role. And I just would feel like be so absurd that almost he would seem normal.
Yeah.
You know, which he kind of is. Like, he wears his three-piece suit. He's got a job. He's a very, like, you know, he's only quirky because of the situation, not because of who he is. So it'd be interesting to pair him with someone who's, like, kind of out there.
He's way more sophisticated than us hairless apes.
Yeah, he's just a duck, man.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a good choice.
That's a duck, man. That's a duck.
Ernie or Brandon, feel free to go. Or James, I think we missed James too. James, either one of you guys.
So if they were to remake this movie, firstly, it would be R-rated and directed by James Gunn, because that just makes sense. For the voice of Howard, I mean, Seth Green is the obvious choice because he's in the Marvel movies already. But I think it'd be interesting to see Danny DeVito as the voice of Howard. I don't know. That just seems like a really good choice. And then for Beverly, I don't know, maybe Samara Weaving. She was in Ready or Not. She seems like she could play well off of a, CGI duck. She's been in some weird shit already. So,
yeah, I like it. Good list, man. Good list. Brandon or Ernie?
Ernie, you go first. Actually, no, I'll go. Then you go last. You probably have way better opinions about this than I do. So with Jennings, I would go with Bryan Cranston.
Okay.
For the voice of Howard the Duck, I would go with Donald Glover.
Yeah.
And then for Phil, I'd go Sam Rockwell.
I almost put Sam Rockwell for Phil but then Nicolas Cage had to take it. I could see Sam Rockwell.
Bev, I think you could insert campy actress here, and it would work.
That's so sexist.
Well, no, she doesn't do a lot of heavy lifting in the film. Actually, none of them do, or else it would have been, good.
I think it was meant for her to do some heavy lifting.
Yeah, but then again, I think that Howard could cut. You could cut some. There were so many one-liners that you could have just. Some of them worked and some of them didn't. Most of them didn't.
Don't tell that to Matt Damon. He thinks anybody can be Iron Man is witty. Don't tell that to Matt Damon.
Yeah, I mean.
Let's see. I got this question once before, but we only stuck to one character. And so I thought about the other characters too. So Jennings, I agree. Bryan Cranston was one of the ones I was thinking of.
Yeah.
But I was more thinking Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, yeah.
He could
do it.
So I thought he would be like, he can have that balance of, because you got to play three different characters at once. So I think he could definitely pull that off easily. For Beverly, while I was hearing you guys talking about it, Prime Allison Hannigan popped into my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
She can totally, or even Anna Faris, but she could totally do this silly shit.
This one time at space camp.
Yeah, there you go.
Space camp.
I stuck a toot in my pussy.
Yeah.
There we go. Earnest your head.
Got it.
Howard. I would go with one of the originals. I would thought Robin Williams would be interesting, but I just can't. Once he did Aladdin and the genie, I can't think of him doing anything else other than that. It would just be they're just trying to make Howard be the genie. But it's like, no, it's Robin's like, no.
I don't think they can animate the duck to be Robin Williamsy enough.
No, because the manic energy would not match the character itself.
True.
For the voice, I would think John Cusack, who was original choice, one of the original choices.
Really?
For Ilzy, this came up before, and I said Daniel Day-Lewis.
Wow. Okay.
He can do anything. Yeah,
he can do anything, and he could. I don't even know. Has Daniel Day-Lewis ever done a comedy?
I don't know, but he could. You know what would be really interesting to watch? I want to see Daniel Day-Lewis play Christian Bale, playing Daniel Day-Lewis.
And vice versa. So you just have them like a dueling.
Yeah.
It's a Christopher Nolan film, so there's like weird macabre. Like it's just this weird Inception deal.
Yeah.
Face Off too.
Just remake the Prestige, but can't recast. Prestige.
Before we move on from casting call, we announced the real life casting calls that were almost made. Some of these we mentioned it during our conversation. Robin Williams was originally cast to voice Howard. Like you said, John Cusack as well as Martin Short auditioned to voice Howard. Jay Leno was considered for the role of Phil Blumberg. Phoebe Cates and Tori Amos auditioned for the role of Beverly. Others considered for the role were Paula Abdul, Kim Basinger, Jodie Benson, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Laurie Singer. John Landis, being a close friend of George Lucas, was originally lined up to direct the movie, but turned it down after reading the script because the chase scene at the end was too similar to his previous film, Blues Brothers. Casting call will be continued in Cast Crew U when Miles pulls out his file folder and lists like all these people that sent in auditions for Howard or different roles is very interesting.